Hello plant lovers, here is Rahul Rao from Horticulture Rejuvenation. Today I am here with Aglaonema. Aglaonema is one of the most loved indoor house plants. With that, I want to share one thing. This time, care of Aglaonema will be available in two languages, Hindi and English. Both the videos will be available on YouTube channel of Horticulture Rejuvenation. So let's begin. Before beginning of its care, I want to discuss one thing, that there is a discussion between Aglaonema and Diaphanbachia, that which plant is Aglaonema and which plant is Diaphanbachia. Thing is, both plant belongs to same family Araceae, and because of that both plants look similar. And the reason is people are getting confused that which plant to call Aglaonema and which plant to call Diaphanbachia. Thing is, both the plant having same care and differentiating is not easy. So without getting too deep into its comparison, let's begin with the care of Aglaonema. Beginning of its sunlight, how much sunlight we should be providing to Aglaonema. Now Aglaonema can stay really good in low light condition. This is very discussed part. Does every species stays good in low light condition? Now the thing is, some plant requires bright sunlight. So you should be providing bright sunlight to such plants which are having more variegations. Because variegations also comes when you are providing good bright sunlight. So you have to observe this thing. It can also stay in indirect sunlight. 4 to 5 hours of indirect sunlight would be good for this plant. If you are keeping in indirect sunlight, it would be good in that condition also. So you can understand this thing in regarding to sunlight, because as said that avoid direct sunlight. You really don't have to provide direct sunlight. This is the precaution you have to take when you are growing Aglaonema. So these are the things regarding sunlight. After that I'll come to watering. How much watering this plant needs. So I want to say that this plant likes a bit of dry soil. So you don't have to really pour water every time the upper soil is becoming dry. I'll say that check for half to 1 inch of moisture. Now the thing is, during summers what happens is most of the water evaporates rather than consuming. So during summers, as the upper soil becomes dry, water them. And when we'll come to other seasons, except winter, water by checking half inch of moisture. Now during winters, I'll say check for 1 inch of moisture, because it goes into dormancy during winters when temperature goes below 16 degrees Celsius. So you have to observe regarding watering. I've discussed in previous videos also about watering, that watering changes with respect to seasons, that how much water you are pouring to your plants. So you have to understand this part with respect to water. So this is the part regarding watering. After that I come to fertilization. What fertilization this plant requires. Now this plant really don't demand much of fertilization, so you have to really don't worry about its fertilization. Still I'll say that fertilize it. A little bit of fertilization is required to maintain the nutritional balance. So in that case you can give NPK or grow more, or you can feed other composts also. So regarding fertilization, fertilize during growing period. You really don't have to worry about its fertilization very much. Feed with when you are feeding to other plants, you can feed to this plant also. Separately it really does not require much fertilization. So you can observe this thing regarding fertilization. After that, soil mix. Now this plant grows good in well drained soil. So you should be providing well drained soil to this plant. And if I talk about ratio, 55% soil, 20% sand, 15% vermicompost, 10% coco coir. Basic soil mix would be fine for this plant. You really don't have to put much effort in soil mix. But remember, this plant requires well drained soil. So do add sand. Don't skip sand. I have talked in other videos also that people skip sand because of not having availability. I have talked in hibiscus plant also that how you can get the availability. So don't miss that, and do provide sand. And regarding bugs also, I haven't seen much bugs in this plant, so you really don't have to care much about its bugs. So you can see that part. One more thing I want to add, that this plant flowers during late spring and early summer. So you can see that flower looks really beautiful. If you'll grow good, you'll have flower on this plant during late spring and early summer. Lastly, I want to talk about its repotting, that when we should be repotting this plant, because we generally don't plant aglaonemas in big pots, so you really don't have to choose big pots, because it does good in small pots. So you can choose a size of this pot size you can take and plant in this pot size. So this pot size works really fine. With that, I want to say this plant has been repotted the 1.5 months back. So I've repotted this plant and separated this plant by propagation by division. This plant was actually the same plant previously. After repotting, I have separated this plant. So I've done repotting after 2 years. So you can see that, because this plant is getting a little root bound, so I might be repotting during spring. So you don't have to repot during winters, because it goes into dormancy during winters. You have to observe that. And about planting, you can plant during autumn. It really not make much a difference if you'll plant in other season. It would be good if you'll plant during spring and other season, because after autumn what comes is winter, and winter is its dormancy period. So you can plant during autumn, but better season to plant is or spring, or you can plant during monsoon also. So you have to observe this. So before going, I want to share a short video of its repotting. I haven't shared because of lack of light in that video. So you can see the short video of its repotting. So hopefully you like the video. Thank you for watching. Keep gardening.